So right now I'm gonna show you how to run it locally. So first you need to create a folder. I don't know. Yeah, so in this folder you will need to put the jar that you download, this one, and then you'll have to create a file called run or whatever, but it has to have the .bat extension, and then you'll need to edit it and paste this. If you don't know how to edit, just create a text file, then paste this, and then rename the text file to something .bat. Okay, so this is like the thing, and then you can finally start it. So as you can see, there were folders generated, database in which all the stats are stored, and in this folder there are well, I'll explain this later. I'll explain this later too. All the configs, but I'm not gonna go into them because and as you can see, I haven't set up my config, so it doesn't work. But right now I wanna tell you how to set this bot up to on a website, on a host. A host that I found was the cheapest is Sparked Host, Discord bot hosting. You can also get a discount, I think, I don't know, but yeah, basically all you need is this. I mean, if you have a server with a lot of players and a lot of games going on, you might need this, which is 1 GB of RAM. Or maybe this. I don't think you'll ever need this, but yeah, for servers with like 1,000, 2,000, maybe even 3,000 people, $1 per month is all you need. Hey, so now I'm going to show you how to set up your bot and invite it to your server. So the first thing you need to do is, of course, create a server. If you already have that, that's great. I'm just going to create a simple server so I can just show you everything. You need to invite the bot. You can do that by going to this link or just typing Discord developer portal in the Google search bar, and then you need to create a new application for the account. So I'm on my old, and I'm gonna just name it ranked bot. Create. Then this is the bot about me. So we need to click add bot. You can change it username, its icon, profile picture. You need to enable these 3 options, save changes. And now you need to press reset token. Yes, do it, and then copy it. But do not show this to anyone you do not trust, because if they have this, they just have total control over your Discord server, and they can do whatever they want with it. They can nuke it, they can just do whatever they want. So do not give this to anyone, except maybe someone you trust. After you copy it, you need to go back into your newly created ranked bot folder. I'll go into config.yml and paste the token right here. So I've pasted it. I press save. I will go through the config later, but I just want to show you how to get it up and running. So yeah, after you've done that, you can finally but yeah, make sure all these 3 are checked. And now after you've done that, you can go to OAuth 2 URL generator, press bot, press administrator, copy, and then paste, and select the server, authorize all of this, and now the bot is in your server. And now you can run the bot. As you can see, every command has been loaded. Now it says finishing up. This might take around 10 seconds, so we need to wait 10 seconds. And yeah, it has been enabled and we are now good to go. So as you can see, our bot is online, and if we do help, we can see all the commands. Now last thing and the most important thing, the way Discord permissions work, you need to move ranked bot role above every single role. So if you have, for example, registered role, or even if you have owner role, you need to move the ranked bot, and it is here, for example, you need to move the ranked bot above every single one, because otherwise it just won't work. And the way Discord permissions work, this bot still won't work for the person who has ownership of the server. So yeah, you could create an alt and give the server's ownership to the alt, and then you can play on your main, or you can have ownership on your main and play on an alt. Just do not use the bot for your account which has the ownership, because it will not work, something might break. So just don't do that. And I can't do anything against it because it's just how Discord permissions work. Like, bots can't modify server owners' roles, nicknames, so you see, ranked just doesn't work with that. Hey, so today I'm gonna talk about all the things you need to set up in the bot. So first, it's a config file, and I think this is really easy because I've explained everything in the comments, like in these green texts. Everything is explained. This is where we pasted our token. You can just do all of this to your liking. Basically, you either need to paste role IDs or channel IDs everywhere. And if you can't, if you don't know how to copy ID, it's basically just go to your user settings, go to advanced, go to turn on developer mode, and now you can copy role IDs and channel IDs by right clicking and then pressing copy ID, or going into roles, right clicking and pressing copy ID. Yeah, it's pretty simple. So yeah, after you set all of this up, you can, well, I'm only going to talk about this later because yeah. Anyway, after you set all of that up, you can also set up the levels. Yeah, this is explained how to do it here. I hope this is understandable. Then you can set up clan levels the same way, but there's no rewards for now. You can also change almost all of the messages to your liking. Now you can also change permissions. I'm gonna show you how to do this later, but it's really just self-explanatory. I think I've explained it well right here. Yeah, so now about the maps, ranks, and queues, which are the main three things needed for this actually to work. So first I'm gonna talk about maps, and let me actually start my bot so I can add everything as we talk. Okay, so maps are basically needed for the game to start, because when a game starts, when a game channel is created, a map is picked randomly in which players have to play on. And for example, if you are using this for Minecraft Ranked Bed Wars, which this bot was designed for, there's multiple maps in Minecraft Bed Wars, and players need to know which map do they need to play on. But if you're just using this for any game and maps don't matter to you, you can just add a map with random name, height as like 1 or 0, and a random team. So the command to add map is add map, and as I said, you can specify name, height, team 1 and team 2. This is specifically for Minecraft, because there's a height limit for breaking blocks and placing blocks. So add map, let's say invasion, I do not know its height limit, but let's say 110, red green. But yeah, if you are not, like, if maps don't matter to you, you still need to add one map, because otherwise games won't work. But you can just add this to anything and set height to like 0 or 1. Okay, so let me add a map. If we do equals maps, you can see all maps, and if you make a mistake here, you can just do equals del map and then re-add it again. Now ranks are something that is needed because the elo gain and loss depends on ranks. Well, that's just how every ranked game works in the world. So the higher rank you have, the less elo you're gonna gain, the more you're going to lose. So I have created 3 roles for ranks. It's probably a way better idea to make more roles for ranks and call them something different than this. But yeah, I'm just doing this to show an example. So add role, add rank is a command with which you need to add the rank. So you need to mention the role or paste its ID. Basically specify the role. Then you need to specify the starting elo for the rank, which is how many elo does a player need to get this rank. That ending elo is basically the next rank minus 1 elo. I might just show you later. Win elo, how much elo does a player get when winning while having this rank. Lose elo, how much elo does player lose while having this rank. And MVP elo, if there is an MVP in that game. An MVP is basically a person who did the most, who accomplished the most, who contributed the most to the win that game. If there is an MVP, this is basically how many elo does an MVP get depending on his rank. Okay, so now let's add a rank. Add rank, I'm gonna mention tier 1. Let's say starting elo 0, because I specified in the config that wait, let me open it. I've specified in the config that players start at 0 elo right here. I mean, it's still kind of a good idea to make a rank for 0. Also, this bot doesn't go below 0, so if a player has 0 elo and loses, he will just stay at 0 elo. There's no negative. Yeah, so okay, starting elo 0, ending elo 99, because I want the next rank to have 100 as the starting. Then win elo, let's say 10, losing 20, MVP. Oh my god, what am I saying? Okay, now I add the rank. So successfully added, and if I do equals ranks, you can see. If you made a mistake, you can do del rank and add a rank again. Let me add 2 more ranks. Tier 2, then 100, as I said, 199, 20, 20, 15. This is basically my preference. You can specify this as anything. This is just for testing. And then add rank, tier 3, starting to... And it's probably a great idea to have your last rank as a lot of elo, but this has to be below this number. So you should just you should just set it at 9999. I mean, there's probably no way someone is getting that high. Anyway, yeah, it's a great idea to have. It's not necessary, but it's a great idea to have your highest rank as a high number. Okay, so now you win elo, let's say 10, lose 30, and MVP 10. Okay, that's great. If we do equals ranks, it will show all the ranks, and it always starts with the highest elo and ends with the lowest while displaying the ranks. Okay, now queues. Queues are basically just voice channels which players have to join to queue a game, and the game starts, the game channel is created, the game VCs are created when the channel is filled with a specified amount of players needed, and you can specify that while adding a queue. So the command is add queue, and as you can see we need a VC ID, so let me create a 2v2 queue, 2v2 2v2 captains. I'm explaining what this means later. Okay, great. Now, players in each team. This is self-explanatory. Then picking mode. There's two picking modes, either automatic or captains. And automatic is when the bot sorts teams automatically. And captains is when two players from the queue are picked as captains, and they can then pick remaining players. So I must specify that as captains because some of you might not be familiar with this. And then casual, if casual is set to true, this queue doesn't give or take elo. It just doesn't modify your stats. Yes, and if this is set to false, then it's a normal ranked queue. Basically what you're getting this bot for. So you should probably have this as false most of the time, unless you're doing like an event or something. Okay, so add queue, copy the ID, then players in each team 2 because I want this to be a 2v2. Then picking mode, as I said, let me show you captains, and then casual false. So we actually update stats. Okay, so it was added. If I do equals queues, oh my god, equals queues, you can see this has been successfully added and there are currently no players playing. And if I join it, oh, I'm not registered. Yeah, as you can see, I've set my alerts channel in the config to this, and alerts is basically needed for just alerts, and this is an alert. Yeah, so basically registered, so not registered people don't start queuing and don't break the bot. Yeah, so I think that is it for the setup. Yeah, so I think that is it for the queues, ranks, and maps. Okay, so I think I'm pretty sure that we have set up everything we needed if you set up the config. Let me just quickly show you how the permissions work. So if we do help, for example, player, as you can see, permissions everyone. So for example, you wouldn't want this command to be allowed for everyone because, well, it's a staff command which resets players or even everyone's stats. So it's really dangerous. So basically, permissions are roles. So, for example, if I only want this role, this rank to work while I have owner or star role, so I need to copy owner ID, then go into folder, go into permissions.yml, find the wipe command, and paste this ID in. Now if I save it, and then you can use equals RC, which stands for reload config. This basically updates all the permissions, the config, and the messages. And if I do help player, as you can see, it only works for owner now. Let me actually give owner a color so we can see it better. Let it be purple, I don't know. But what if you wanted it to be for multiple roles? So for example, I want it to be for owner and the star, which I also have. So I think if I do now wipe, it should say that, yeah, you see, you don't have permission to use this. Also, if you want to disable a command, so for example, I can do force register, right? But if you want to disable a command, you can just delete this, and then RC, and then if I do force register, as you can see, it says this command is disabled. So, but let's enable this actually. Now, if you wanted to have multiple roles allowed to equals wipe, you need to add a comma at the end, then go copy your second role or third or fourth or however many you want, copy and paste. If you want one more, you can do the same thing and so on, but I only want 2 roles to be able to use this command, so yeah, I've set it to that. Then you can do, so then I can do help player, and as you can see, owner and the star role is allowed now to use this command. And I didn't have owner role, I only have star role, so it didn't allow me to wipe before, but now if I do wipe, it should allow me. Yeah, you see, it does allow me to. It says invalid arguments because I didn't mention anyone, but it does allow me. It doesn't say no permission. Okay, so now let's go to let's talk about. So this basically works with every command. So the more dangerous commands are force register, force rename. I mean, if you do help, it's explained what every command does. So you can just like see if it's a dangerous command. Yeah, because delete rank dangerous command, add rank dangerous command, delete queue dangerous command, undo game dangerous command, score, win, lose, modify very dangerous command. So you should just set that to roles instead of everyone, and everyone is just this. Now, okay, let's go on to the basic commands. I want to show you the basic commands now. So, first one, the most basic one is register. Oh, also, after you set everything up, you should go into the config and disable unregistered command use, so there's no one breaking your server. Now if I do wipe again, RC, I'm stupid. If I do stats, as you can see, it says not registered. So now, as you can see, everything works. Like every command doesn't work except register. So register is basically the main command with which you need to start playing. So register and your in-game name. So my in-game name is, for example, Gasp. I register. I receive the lowest rank registered role, or the rank which has specified ELO right here. So I get the registered role, lowest rank, and now I'm registered. So now I can use all the commands. For example, stats. And yeah, as you can see, there's all of my stats, ELO, big ELO, and so on. If you are using this board for image stats, which is in the config, stats images, I'm go over all of this later because there's a lot I want to say. Yeah, so now for more basic commands, let me just go to permission so I can see all of the commands. Yes, so now, well, there's also rename, which would change the player's name, fix, which would fix the roles and all that. If, for example, if I edit server profile, type anything in my nickname and then do equals fix, as you can see, my nickname is back. If I remove my tier 1 role, if I do equals fix, my tier 1 role is back. Now, force register, force rename, this is just basically staff commands to forcefully rename or forcefully register someone. Wipe just resets someone's ELO, also resets also a staff command stats, good command leaderboard. I'm gonna be the only one because I'm the only one registered. Now modify, basically modify someone's ELO. So if I do modify ELO, and if I type something like gibberish, it will show all the available stats I can modify. Modify ELO. I mean, not all of this is modifiable, but yeah. Anyway, if I modify my ELO to 500, and then do equals fix. As you can see, my nickname updated, my this updated, and now I'm actually tier 3 role. My tier 1 was removed. And if I do leaderboard, as you can see, I have 500 elo. If I do stats, my peak elo is now 500. If I do modify elo minus 200, for example, and then do stats, my peak is still 500 because it was the largest one. Anyway, transfer gold is command for gold. I'll go over gold later. Party commands. Now party is basically when you go into a game on ranked Bed Wars, join the VC, it fills, and then you go into a game. If someone in that VC is in a party, and if that queue is automatic, then the people who are in the party will be put into the same team. And then game commands, I'm gonna show this when I'm in game. Utilities, we did all of this later, earlier. And also, if you set up levels, you can just do equals levels. This shows every level. Give theme, remove theme, I'll cover this later. Ban and ban. This is basically for ranked moderation. So if I ban myself for 5 days, for example, cheating. As you can see, I have now received my ban roll. And if I do ban info, cusp, it shows how much time left for unban. So yeah, clans is something I will cover later. Clan war is not even in the bot yet, but I might implement that someday. So yeah, in the next part I will actually go in game and show you how in game works. Hey, so right now I want to show you how the games work. So if you remember, I have banned myself, so if I do fix, as you can see I am still banned. And if I try to join the queue, as you can see in the alert channel it says you cannot queue, you've been banned. So yeah, there's protection from ban. So anyway, now I need to unban myself by doing unban this. So I have unbanned myself and now I can join queue. And now if I do equals queues, you can see I'm in a 2v2 queue. So anyway, let me join the queue on all of my ults. I have registered, as you can see. So let me join the 2v2 queue. And it's captains. So now shortly after, as you can see, I have been moved into the VCs. And yeah, so this is basically how captains work. 2 players from the game are picked as captains, and then these 2 players can pick the remaining players. And if 2 captains, if captain 1 has more elo than captain 2, then captain 2 can pick first. But if captain 2 has more elo than captain 1, then captain 1 can pick first. And if their elo is the same, then it's just randomly. But as you can see, it says whose turn is to pick. So it's my mains where I need to pick actually. And do pick dog. I can't because he's already picked in the other team. So I can only pick these 2 players. But first I want to show you more game commands. So if you do help game, queue, view your game's queue. So if you do equals queue, yeah, it just basically shows this. Then queue stats, view the stats of players in your queue. So if you do QS, you can see all the stats. Well, elo is already in the nickname, so you can just see wins and losses because that's probably the most important stats. And then game info. And you need to specify a number, so this is game 1. So let me specify 1. And as you can see, state is starting because, well, I still haven't picked, so it's still starting. And then it shows the randomly picked map was invasion, because that's the only map. If we do maps, that's the only map there is. Okay, then what else? Pick, yeah, I'll do this. Void. Yeah, so if someone, if for example, if a player leaves this game, then it's a really great idea to just void it, because, well, it would be unfair for the team. Command to void is void, and then players have to vote. But I don't want to void this game, so I'ma press X, and it will only be voided if there are more checkmark reactions than X reactions. And yeah, as you can see, voiding has been cancelled. Then if I do equals call, player limit in the VC increases by 1, and the player that I mentioned gets access to the VC admin. Force void, this is staff command to void without the voting thing. So let me just pick the player. So the game starts, pick let me see the queue. So equals P, let's say Casp. And now, as you can see, I have been moved, well, the other guy has been moved to Team 2 VC. So as you can see, the game has started, and if I do game info 1, it's now not starting, but it's playing. It also displays the map in which players have to play in. And if you go into the config file, if you have configured the games channel, I have configured games announcing to my games channel. So if I go into my games channel, as you can see, the game has been announced, the teams, the map, and all the relevant info. You can also turn this off in the config, but it's useful if your ranked Battle Royale server depends on a bigger Minecraft server and you don't really have a way to go in game without players inviting each other to a party and then joining a private game. But if you have a private server and you have a way to get all the players in a game when a game starts, you can just leave this blank to disable it. How to score this game? So after the game has been played, a player from the winning team has to do equal submit. Let's pretend that this is a screenshot of the win, where it says that some team has won in the chat. So there's proof for scorers that they won. So when you submit, the game channel closes. Game 1 submitted, you can requeue here. Then it pings the score role that I set in the config. As you can see, I have set the score role in the config. So it pings the score role. So then scorers can do score game number 1. Then the team who won, so either 1 or 2. So let's say 1. Actually, yeah, let's say 1. Then MVP ID, or you can type none to specify that there's no MVP. But let me mention that MVP was, yeah. So when I do this, as you can see, my elo has been updated in the nickname. I have gotten 10 elo because if I do ranks, my rank gives me 10 elo on win, and tier 1 rank, which has, gives 30 elo on win and 20 on MVP, and that's why he got 50 elo. It also displays who the MVP was, who it was scored by, and as you can see, game channel deleting in 10 minutes because you can set it here. I think 10 minutes is the best time. And now it also displays this in the scoring. Yeah, so let me now, as you remember, I have deleted the party invite command to show that it works. There's also a command force void, so if I do that, you can see it's been voided. And if I do game info 2, it shows state voided and voided by who. Yeah, so that's useful, I guess. And now let me actually forget to reload config this time. And also let me show you what happens if the queue is automatic. Del queue, the queue was successfully deleted, and now let me do add queue. At Q, we say D, players in each team, automatic, and then casual, false. Okay, I added this. Let me just rename it to automatic for more organization, you know. Oh, and as you can see, the voided game was deleted. The channels were deleted because it deletes after 1 minute. Okay, now let me join the automatic queue on all of my alts. And now the game 3 has started, and it just starts already automatically. And if I do game info 3, it's not starting, it's playing now, because it just automatically solves the team and starts when the game is created without picking, because I set the queue to automatic. Oh yeah, let me also show the undo game command. So if I do score, I need to submit first. So submit. Let me just copy a screenshot real quick. Submit. It has been submitted. Now if I use score 3, and if it's displaying that team won in the screenshot, but I accidentally specify the winning team as team 2, and then I specify the MVP correctly, for example. Yeah, so MVP still gets elo, but why is there an alert? Oh yeah, level up. This is a thing. If you wanna turn levels off, you can go into config, levels, and then levels enabled false to turn them off completely. You can also configure this. And if I do stats, you can see the level and the XP. And if I do levels, you can see my current level, 150, arrow of 300, and needed XP and rewards, and so on. So yeah, this is a fun thing, basically. And as you can see, there is no party invite command now because I have disabled it. As I was saying, if you score this wrong, you can just simply use a command unscore, undo game, 3 to undo the scoring, and game 3 has been undone. As you can see, it went back to my normal elo. It displayed the message game 3 has been undone in the scoring channel, and now I can just normally score it again. So let's score game 3 as the winning team is 1, and then MVP is Y. And now it is all good again. So yeah, this is basically how games work.